Hello and welcome to another tech series video. I'm Mental9R, and in today's video we are going to talk about the PlayStation Portal. Yes, it's a device that I bought in and around, I don't know, first week of December, second week of December, somewhere around there. I did pick up a refurbished one and I did an unboxing on that. If you want to see that, or if you haven't seen that video, I'd appreciate you checking it out. I'll put a link up there. For those that have watched it, you'll remember that I said that I did feel like a bit of a hypocrite for buying the device because I was not a fan of it day one when it first launched. And one of the reasons was you needed the PlayStation 5 to actually make it useful. Sure, I can understand there's a use case for it. You know, your PlayStation 5's hooked up in the living room, the kids are watching TV, or your wife wants to watch something on TV, and you can't use your PlayStation 5. So if you have the Portal, you can sit play on your Portal with a little headset and you're not bothering anyone. And that part I thought was, you know, an okay argument, but at the cost of it, when you looked at the Portal itself for 300 in Canadian funds, you basically after tax you're around 300 bucks. I think it was 279 brand new, or 269 brand new. And you consider that along with the cost of a, at the time, I guess at launch, I think it was $650 already at that point in Canada for the PS5. That's a pretty expensive device. You're in that $1,000 range after tax. Now in the US, of course, it's a little more appealing for $200 for the Portal and $500 for the PlayStation 5, but still, it's not a small chunk of change. So when they added cloud streaming to it, it suddenly became a lot more interesting to me, because then you can pick up this $200 US device and if you want, just buy a PlayStation subscription for that monthly fee, and away you go. You can start playing some games. Now, as of right now, I think there's around 260 to 270 games that are currently in the PlayStation streaming library. I know they're working on being able to give you the ability to stream all the games you own as well through the cloud. I think that will be a great feature, because then you can buy games on sale, spend 10, 15, $20 on a game, and it's yours to keep, and you can still play it with your portal, easy for me to say, through the cloud. And the device then starts to make a little bit more sense. So anyway, with all of that up front and out of the way, let's get into looking at the device itself. Okay, so here we are with the PlayStation Portal. I'm going to power it on, and apparently I have it fully off. So that's an interesting thing I can talk about. If it's in standby mode, a quick press of the power button, I know that's hard to see, it's right there, will turn it on. But if it's fully off, if you're wanting to conserve battery power so that the battery doesn't drain, it takes, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 seconds. You got to hold it down in order for it to power on. And I mean, that's kind of good, because you don't want to have something just bump the power button and turn it on and then start draining the battery when you didn't expect it. And you can see here, it does take a fair bit of time to actually power up. Well, you can see my camera reflection. And that's not the case when it's in standby. When it's standby, it's basically instant. You're up at this screen and you're able to log in. One thing though I do want to touch on, and I mentioned this in a little video that I did a little while back when the PlayStation outage occurred. This device becomes instantly useless. Even if you're trying to stream on your internal network, it still doesn't work, because it has to authenticate you to PlayStation Network. Dear Lord, I hope they do something about that, because I find that completely ridiculous. There should be no reason in the world why, if you want to play on your home network, it needs to connect to the PlayStation Network. That should not be a thing. It should be able to cache your credentials and let you play and stream in your own home. Obviously, with cloud streaming, what I'm showing here now, you're going to need to authenticate online. But when it's internal and on your home network, there's absolutely zero reason why you should have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to load up, I think I'll go with Jedi Survivor, and we'll let that boot up. It's loading from the cloud. Now this can take, again, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, maybe 40 seconds to actually get you to a point where the game is loading itself. There it comes. It zooms in on it and you'll see it starts going through the actual boot up of the game. You get the whole launch screen and everything and respawn and all that. So it's not like they have the game sitting there waiting for someone to magically join. It's got to launch it for you, which is expected. Okay, that's loaded up. I'll hit continue. I started a New Game Plus version of this a while ago. Haven't played it for a bit, so I'm not really going to play the game as much as I'll just kind of run around a little bit, see if you can get a little bit of an idea as to the responsiveness of it. When you're playing, it actually feels pretty good. Is it as good as just playing natively on your PS5? No, you can tell there's a bit of input latency, but in general, it's pretty darn good, and it's definitely playable. The other thing I'll say is you'd be hard pressed, I think, to tell the difference between streaming from the cloud and streaming from your PlayStation. I have tried this back to back. I'm not going to do that now for the sake of brevity with the video, but I have tried it, and man, it is so close that I got to be honest, it's just, I wouldn't be concerned just using the cloud streaming, even within my own house, which is impressive. Now, I will say, you're going to want to have good Wi-Fi. It does not work that great. I've messed with it just connecting, like it doesn't work at all really on 2.4 gigahertz. You need 5 gigahertz, but it's quite bad even on Wi-Fi 5. I found it's not just the input latency goes up. It's not a great experience. I really hope I'm not clipping. I'm noticing my meter there a bit, but anyway, I just wanted to do a quick size comparison here as well. You can see it's basically identical to a Steam Deck. Now, of course, the Steam Deck has a lot more functionality, but it also costs more money. Now, can you use your Steam Deck to stream PlayStation 5 games? Yes, you can from your PlayStation. The cloud aspect, no. Or let's say you have a Steam Deck already and you want that portable ability to stream from your PlayStation 5. This will do that. It's a little bit of a workaround, but there's instructions everywhere on the face of the earth for how to do that, the application that you need, and it works fairly well. I will say that the native experience with the PlayStation Portal is better. The one thing that I found with the Steam Deck is you tend to get a few more compression artifact scenarios. I found personally that to me it felt like there's a little bit more input latency. Nothing too terrible, nothing too crazy. The Steam Deck is a great device. I've been super happy with mine. I'm impressed every day with how much it can do and how well it can play games. So back to the Portal. Now, one thing I do want to mention, because I have had Game Pass Ultimate in the past, I don't have it anymore. So I can't tell you if things have improved dramatically over the last few months since I most recently tried cloud streaming with the Game Pass Ultimate experience. Let's just say that PlayStation's game streaming has advanced dramatically. When it was PlayStation Now, I could hardly use it. It was that bad. I mean, compression artifacting, the input latency was terrible. It was not a good experience. xCloud, back in those days, was vastly superior. Very playable comparatively. Now, fast forward to the most recent improvements that PlayStation has put into their cloud service, and it's not even close in the other direction now. I find the PlayStation experience to be so much better. PlayStation Plus cloud streaming is very, very good. At least in my area where I am, it's light years ahead of the PlayStation Now experience from years ago. So definitely can recommend it in that respect. Streaming from your PlayStation, if you've got a really solid internal network and your PlayStation's wired to your router and you have Wi-Fi 6, I don't really have any problems. The only thing that I find is weird is with my mesh network. If I start this up, let's say I'm in the basement sitting in my office and I fire this up and then I leave it on and I go upstairs, it doesn't seem to flip to a different access point very well. It seems to want to hang on to the one that you're on originally, and now that might just be my Asus mesh network. I'm never buying an Asus router again, by the way, just off another topic, but the overall experience gets so much better just by restarting this thing and then letting it sync up with the access point that's upstairs. So anyway, all that stuff aside, input latency, really good through the cloud, really good through my PS5. Again, got to be on Wi-Fi 6. Generally speaking, it's worth a look. If you can get one that like this, that's basically in brand new condition for a refurbished price, I mean, I saved about a third of the cost, and that's pretty substantial. So definitely worth considering in a scenario like that. So let's move on. Got that surprise unboxing that I was going to do. Full disclosure, this is something I got through the Amazon Vine program, so I did get it for free for the purposes of review. Free or not, if it sucks, it sucks. So I'm going to flip back to the overhead. Okay, so here we have it. We'll flip it open, see what's inside. We have a couple of screen protectors here. And yes, they are notched out so that you'll see why that notch is there is to fit around the thumbstick like that. So that's good. It is going to give you full coverage. You're not going to have to worry about any part of the screen being exposed. A couple of accessories. I'm assuming that's cleaning stuff. And a silicone case for it as well. So that's kind of cool. I have used one of these before. I have a black one that came with a different case that I got. And at least with the black one, the one thing I found is these circles here that are cut out for the thumbsticks with the silicone caps on. Sometimes the silicone cap on the thumbstick would hit that and it would kind of create a bit of a sticky feel. So I'm on the fence about these. They're okay, but you know, the fact that comes with it is great. I think that's fantastic. That way you don't have to go out and buy one. Other things that came with, and because I've done this is the third time, believe it or not. I've had audio problems because of some software updates, and I think I finally got it tuned right. Hopefully my voice is good in this one. One of the items it came with is a stand-up little charging dock. And you'll see on my Steam Deck I have the adapter plugged in already, and this is the device that comes out of the box, and that's where the thing sits. So it's a little bit of a stiff thing to open, and it's got a little leg here that you prop out, and then it sits in a slot, and it goes like that. And I'll see if I can successfully just drop this on here first try so you can see what it does. Kind of pops in right like that, and it just sits on the stand. Now you would have the charging cable plugged in. It goes in the side of the dock, USB-C, USB-A, and then like most people, I've got spare charging things everywhere. So yeah, it just plugs in and into the side of the dock, and you can charge it, which is, it's kind of nice. I have a charging dock for my Steam Deck, and now I have one for the Portal that I didn't even really realize came with this. So that's cool. Nice little accessory. Also, this was a surprise to me. I didn't realize it was going to come with these earphones. Now, full disclosure, I have tried them. They're not that great, but they do provide you with stereo if you do not have headphones, and there's also a little microphone in the cable too, in line. If you do not have headphones, they'll definitely get you by in a pinch, and the fact they're including them, that's pretty cool. So, and then the other thing that comes with it are the little thumbstick protectors, and it's something I haven't mentioned, but I like having these on here, not so much to protect the thumbsticks, but because they make the thumbsticks a little bit bigger. And I found that that was the first thing I noticed. If you compare the size of the thumbsticks with like a standard DualSense controller, these are much smaller. So having the little silicone caps on them, I find just makes it feel a little bit better in my hand anyway. So yeah, a little added bonus that it does give you what, 4 pairs. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's the little surprise unboxing. It's a nice case. It's quite deep. Plenty of room for storage. You got a little compartment down here. This is interesting. I looked at this and I thought, what the heck would you put in these little slots here? I don't know if you can see that, if that's coming through on video, but they got these little last. This looks to me like something you'd put like a Switch game or something in those little slots. I don't know what they're for. It's maybe somebody out there smarter than me does, but yeah, you can fit this in. Fits in nicely. Lots of protection because it's really thick, but that's also the space that you get for your accessories, like the charger, like the dock. All of that fits in here, and you don't have to worry about it actually hitting the device itself. So very cool. Quite happy with it overall. I'll put a link in it. I'm not an affiliate to Amazon or anything. I'm not going to make any money off it. If you want to check it out, go for it. If you have a portal, it's definitely a case I would recommend. It's, like I say, seems to provide really good protection. It's not like I've gone and dropped the thing off my roof or anything like that to see if my portal breaks. I'm not going to do that. But it does have a lot of protection. So yeah, that is about all I have to say. I can't think of anything else that I really want to cover in this video. Overall, the PlayStation Portal has really surprised me. I've used it way more than I ever thought I would. And that in itself, I think, speaks volumes. So for me, full price, I'm still a bit on the fence with it. I think I'd sooner take that money and put it towards a Steam Deck. But if you can get it at a discount, like I did, it's a device worth looking at. And especially if you have a PlayStation 5 and your PlayStation 5's hooked up to the family TV, this gives you a way to sit off to the side and not bother anyone and still play your games. So if I was to give it a rating out of 100, I'd probably give it a 75 at full price, and maybe something closer to an 85 if I'm talking about the refurbished one that I got. Anyway, once again, that's all I've got for you. So greatly appreciate everyone that's stuck through it to the end. If you have, please hit that like, subscribe, follow if you're on Rumble. And man, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have a portal? If you do, what do you think of it? Please let me know. I'm always looking for thoughts and opinions from other people. Once again, I'm Mental 9R. This is Caffeine Entertainment. Don't forget, it's time to wake up and play some games.